Hello guys, this is Modi, and I'm going to try and make a short resume of the Germanside versus Chinese child match that was played this Sunday. So it was a match that was played on the Amerish Western map, a map we have played a bit quite often now, with all those matches with less than 100 players. It's quite an interesting map. Doesn't look like really balanced. If you look at the warp gates, of course, you just realize that apart from that base here, um, the south spawn, the south warp gate, really has an advantage. I'm going to activate here outpost so we can see the names. So if you look at the north part, of course, warp gate is a bit far from those bases here, neutral. But the faction is the north faction is generally allowed to start at Leaf Cup Circumine. They can just stay there before the match start, and when they start, they can leave and go where they are. It's like shortly to balance a bit the distances. It's not that much of an impact anyway. It does have an impact here because if you look at that setup right here, of course the Ascent you cannot start a cap on it because Leaf Cup and it's called Nevermore here, but it's actually Raven Landing. Raven Landing is and Leaf Cup are neutral bases, so you can just start the cap. But if you start the cap on Leaf Cup, let's just say 5 seconds earlier than on Raven Landing, then if you have people on the point of Raven Landing the moment you cap Leaf Cup, then you will have the link to the base, and the TR, for example, here won't have the link to capture Leaf Cup, so you can steal the base and basically in 5 minutes do that within the first 4 minutes. So the distances are pretty important on that setup. So it's really important to take care of that. Chimney Rock is, I will talk a bit about Chimney Rock after. If you look at West Pass, it's a 3-point base, so basically it's really long to capture. It's generally not where the team wants to start. And that lane here between Wokuk and Quati is pretty long, and it pretty much the less important one of the game. Candy, like Kinda, because if you push through Wokuk or through to the Bastion, you're going to cut off a lot of territories. It's pretty short. If you look at here, it's like basically two bases only. But going from Quati to Wokuk, it's pretty long, and Quati even for TR, even if it's shorter, it's generally pretty easier to defend, and Wokuk is pretty long to capture, unlike Wokuk, for example, which is really close, and if you want to cut off all that territory here, you can just try to capture, like, invest a lot on West Pass and try to cut off and invest all your forces on Wokuk and just leave that lane. So it's pretty, like, it's kind of a good balance on that side, because you start with one more bases on that side for TR, but you are a bit more danger, getting Wokuk, because on the other side you have two bases there for NC. It's kind of a hard balance. Chimney Rock is basically the most important base at the beginning, because Leaf Corp and Raven Landing are not going to be, like, for 4 minutes, like 3 minutes, they're not going to be important. So you have to focus a lot on that base, and Genudyne, West Pass is never going to fall in 4 minutes. So it generally starts a lot around Chimney Rock, and during that match, that's actually what happened. So the Germanside is a pretty much experienced team in Server Smashes, because Germans have played on Mirror and Cobalt team, and they have a lot of experience. They're not, maybe not as German team, but a lot of their players and commanders do have experience. The Chinese on the other side have never played as a team before. The German have played against the Team UK, or is it Team GB? I'm going to get angry British people at me. And they won pretty easily on that map. They really destroyed the English team with air dominance, and it was pretty rough. So we expected the Germans to win a lot against the Chinese, because the Chinese were not really experienced. Maybe some of their players played for Connery in the past, but it was not really, like, they really didn't add any experience before on Smashes, so we didn't expect them to hold long. And they really did well. At the beginning, basically what happened is Chinese just focused a lot on Chimney Rock Depot, and they especially just put a lot on ESF and just destroyed the German air platoon, just because they had air platoon is a bit big, but at least probably had a squad and a half for the NC, for the German. The Chinese brought like a full platoon of mosquitoes, and maybe they were not individually good. They really just used straight the strength of numbers to destroy them, and that's why they really won that battle at Chimney Rock. If you look at Void Well here, so it's got from here to the end, you can see that Raven Landing and Lifkov of Gur were captured at the beginning. You can see like Raven Landing had a 15-second advantage on Lifkov, so the TR could have still Lifkov Central, but they didn't. And Chimney Rock went for the TR because of that effort they did. Because the NC were really, really close to capture it, and I think they lost it after like the NC retook the point right after losing the base. But a lot of fight happened around on Chimney Rock, and it was really nice and really interesting to see because like basically half of the population, if not more, was there, and it was a good like it was just impressive to see Chinese dominate the German on their first fight. I think after focused around on West Pass, that lane was pretty much empty for almost all the match, like until the 2/3 of the match. The West Pass was falling, fell for NC, I think, but the TR kept attacking it. The NC used a lot of vanguards, I remember. It was a lot of vehicle play on that base. It was pretty interesting to see. I didn't talk about the rules. Basically, Maxes were banned, Ernst were banned, constructions were banned. Ground to air lock-ons were banned, air to air lock-ons were banned. There was a bit of controversy about the strikers. So the TR used strikers, but they were not supposed to. So if you look at the base capture here, you see that NC actually captured a lot of bases, Genudyne and Shrouded Skyway. So basically on that lane. So basically what happened was this went for TR, this went for C, this went for TR. And the ascent was a long cap because they didn't even started the cap. That no team started the cap after capturing Leaf Cap and Raven Landing. And the NC slowly captured on that lane with not a lot of population, sometimes 12 to 24, but not really much. And what was really interesting is like to see how the population worked, and there was a lot of pole movement between Chimney and West Pass. If you look at captures there, if we could looking at West Pass fell for NC, the ascent fell 10 minutes after, so it was really, really long capture. So the ascent fell for the NC. There was not really a lot of fights on the ascent, of course. It was more around Leaf Cup and Nevermore, not Nevermore, but Raven Landing. The Chinese were basically holding very well, putting a lot of population, like bringing the NC, like they made the NC defend a lot with their population where it was needed. They attacked a lot West Pass, basically bringing like a fair, like 50-50 fight for NC. So they held a lot on the point, on the A point, with a lot of people on it. It was really, really good to see that because it's quite the way you need to attack West Pass, because even if you don't take it, even if you don't spend a lot of like if you don't take it, it's fine because you're on the point as infantry, and the NC have to go back. Like they can spawn on it, but you know, if you have a lot of people on the A point, it's really, really hard. And especially if you have the other points with vehicles, they really need to start grinding through that A point or start from vehicles and push away, so the A point can still have, you know, a lot of people on it and try to defend the vehicles. There was a lot of vanguards, a lot of sandies, and a lot of air, like the air platoon. Basically, what the Chinese did is they pulled full platoon of mosquitoes, like 48 around probably. They wiped the NC air platoon, probably like 2 squads. And of course, the NC are better in the air, so they slowly but surely kill those mosquitoes. And in the end, when the TR had the air advantage, of course, they were winning fights. And the Chinese really put a good effort in pulling that full platoon of mosquitoes right at the moment they needed it to clear a base. For example, for West Pass, or I remember for Chimney Rock, they did a big assault on it, and the first thing they did is bringing 48 mosquitoes to it. And slowly, like they lost, of course, slowly the mosquitoes, and in the end, the NC generally had the air advantage. It was really well made for a team who clearly didn't had any like a strong quality platoons of aircraft pilots, but it really did well in that regard. So if we look a bit at captures here, the ascent for ANC, Scarfield Reliquary, which is that base, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, went for ANC too. So they started really having a good advantage on that lane for NC, so that's how the score went really well. You see like 14 for TR and 20 for the NC. And the NC captured Chimney after losing at the beginning. It was really now pretty rough for the TR because they were going to be assaulted on Tumas and then on there were a lot of fights on Leaf Cup and back and forth with Raven Landing, but that started to fall here. We felt like Woku Shipping was also being attacked. Like there was a lot of vanguards fight here because the Chinese focused a lot on West Pass. And then Raven Landing fall, and it started really pretty bad because NC now could attack Raxis Firearm Corps. And of course, if you capture Raxis Firearm Corps, basically cut off all those territory here, and it's pretty rough as a situation. You lose a lot of score and you lose your tech plant. So Raven Landing failed. Scarfield was recaptured then by the TR. Basically, the TR started pushing again on that western part of the map. And the most important point, of course, was the cap of West Pass. So West Pass here, you can see it was captured there. The ascent was captured then again by the TR. And yeah, I remember that they had a point, like they started capping the point on the ascent before losing Raven Landing. So basically, the situation was like this. The TR have point on it, they lose Raven Landing, and they still have the point on the ascent. So the capture is still going, and the NC doesn't go on the ascent. I remember really being quite surprised, and I think you can remember me talking about it on the stream with Jackak, and it was the ascent going for TR was really good for them because now they could assault Lift Cup Central, and if they capture it, of course they cut off Raven Landing, so they have no point in defending that base anymore. And Araxis, of course, if they capture it. The thing is, a 3-point base, it's really dangerous to let people going on point there. So if we look back on the captures, so Raven Landing, the ascent fall, Tumas Skyline start is lost. I remember there is not a single Chinese there on the point. It's really dangerous, of course, because now the take plant is going to be attacked, and they, of course, the Germans really started attacking here. Then we have through the Skyway. So as I said, that lane started to push, and there was, of course, meanwhile in the big fight on West Pass. That's why there was no real contest to Tumas Techland. Tumas Techland was really close to fall. And at that point, Leaf Cup Central fall. So as I said, the TR just started capturing bases here, even if it was cut off, because it's not really live play, a server smash, or like a nation smash. Basically, you can go there with a Valkyrie or a Galaxy and start capping points. Really now, Raven Landing is cut off, and although of course the NC can still attack Norxis Firearm Corps, the Ascent and Leaf Corps, you can now try to, harass the Bastion, and if you cut the Bastion, well, you need to capture West Pass first, but you can also cut off a lot of territory, so it's pretty dangerous. And at that point, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, West Pass Watchtower fell 3 minutes later. So now West Pass is cut off. And if you look at the setup here, of course, it opened 2 lanes first, so Cabal comes and Chinnerock. And capturing Chinnerock, if you attack Chinnerock, well, you can simply cut off Tumas Cargo. So again, so you see capturing bases before that cutoff, so their cutoff is really, they played well on that thing. They focused, the Chinese focused at least 2 real strong assault on Chinnerock. They never captured it, if I'm not mistaken. They really played on those 2 bases, on Leaf Cup and on Chinnerock. They played well. They understood that those bases were critical and really needed for just be a pain in the bottom part of Germanside. On that part, they played really well, honestly. I was quite surprised because they were resisting pretty well. They were falling apart on that lane for sure, and that lane at the beginning. But they were capturing, after capturing West Pass, they captured Cobaltcoms, if I'm not mistaken, and they captured Cobaltcoms, yeah, as you see. And at that point, of course, the NC captured Tumas because the TR were just usually elsewhere. It was not like there was a nice like a Sunday on the point. It's really hard to defend it because the NC basically had all their time to go on the take plant and prepare them. The Char made a good assault on it, trying to retake the point. They failed. I remember like I think light assault trying to kill that Sunday and going on the like there was some navy on the point. There was no NC on it. So they tried, but they didn't add enough. Like they didn't put enough effort and enough population to retake it, so they lost it. Of course, that attacking Chinarok was really important for them. They tried at least twice. In the meantime, if I'm not wrong, they attacked Genuine, Quati Fortress, and Quati. It's not Catacombs, it's Mountain something like that. You can see here, yeah, Quati Fortress, Quati Mountain. Livkov Central is captured by the ANC, so the ascent is still cut off. After that, Raven Landing was captured right before by the TR, so the ascent and Raven Landing was a go for TR. It was points for the TR. If you look at the map right now, it's at the advantage of the NC, of TR. It's really like you see clearly when that lane collapsing to small fights and Tumas to really like Tumas Chinerok. Westpass also had one German assault on it. It was that lane those bases concentrated most of the fight, and Roxy's Firearm Corps also had some points on it, some fights on it. So it was like if you look at the map, it's pretty interesting to see it because you're really close to like two lanes being unforced and one lane here being forced to. But at that point, it was really close to the end of the match. If you look here, it's 7:15, so it was like 15 minutes before the end of the match. At this point, basically, TR just tried to, like the Chinese tried to attack Chemnirok, and they failed really, really close to it, like 10 seconds. But they lost, they pulled a big air platoon on it of mosquitoes, cleaned everything, and then the NC started slowly to retake the air, like bring mosquitoes with airmers and drop on the point and pushing with Sundays on here pretty much like standard assault on it, and they retook it. It was really well done. And they in the meanwhile just had one guy capturing Quatium station, Quati fortress. Just the guy just went on the point, left for a long time. There was not a single guy here. We could see it. It's really sad because losing that base was free, and if a single Chinese was going to Quati fortress, they would have defended just simply going on the point, and they lost Mountain Pass. Not in exactly the same way because there was some NC guys on the base, but it was really low population. But I think they committed a lot of population here, and they could not defend it. They could not like defend them. It basically cost them the game. I think territory here it was 23 to 20 or 21. I don't remember exactly the final score. It was really interesting as a match. Nobody expected a balanced match. The Germans losing to a single, like winning with a single base advantage, and the NC, the TR having like equal score for almost 15 minutes before the match, the end of the match. The Chinese played really well. I think they knew where to attack and how to use their weakness as a force. They played like they understood pretty well the meta of server smashes on that kind of map because it's not the full server smashes on the full continent, so you don't have a lot of lanes. So going from West Pass to Chimney or to West Pass to Cobalcom or Genudyne isn't costing a lot of time. Not like you're going from Genudyne to Anatha or something like that. There's not that much of an issue to go and use overpop and force the enemy to defend there because it's a critical base and you cannot lose it. So they did really well. The Germans, of course, played really well. They had really good pilots, and they did well even if they had the strikers on them. That push to Tumas was really well done. They basically took the base without any effort, and kept the Chinese busy at West Pass in the meanwhile. They had a good harassing force on Rex's Fire Corps. Those guys here who maybe lost that lane at the beginning knew like they did the right thing, just capping the point and leaving because it's always free. They knew that Chia could not commit to Quati, but she was really good at them. The fighters here were really interesting. 24 or 48 at maximum, but those bases are really special. Like you can set up Sandy's here or here, and taking those points are really interesting. The Ascent was that setup of the map. It's interesting because it's a 3-point base. It's really long to take, and I'm not sure if it's really interesting to have it because players just run to the points and you just go and try to steal it, and then just have one guy or two flipping points and hope that the enemy won't see it. The fact that it flipped for TR in the middle of the match was pretty, honestly, that I did not saw it coming, and pretty nice. Tori, it was really interesting match, pretty balanced. The Chinese did a really good impression. I hope they have will play another match, maybe against the Americans or the Koreans, the French team, but the French team is going to play against the Russian first, and I think the Germans will want to play against the French team too. So probably the Americans or the British. British could have a nice fight on it. Well, not sure if they can bring 96. This is 96 because it was the amount of player of that match, but we will see. Honestly, it was a really good match. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. Watching that video. I would of course advise you to watch the stream. It was really well done. It was Goram and Jacob streaming it, and there was a German stream with Aeons and a wash machine too. So yeah, watch the videos on YouTube. They're going to be uploaded of course, soon. The German the videos are still on Twitch if you want to look at them if they're not on YouTube. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Provide feedback. It's the first time I'm doing this. I hope you liked it. That's all.